Hi, I'm Kirby Franzi, and this week for Unit 5 in International Media 5340, I will be discussing Chapter 13, which is titled Global Advertising and Public Relations. Specifically, I'll be going over Question 1, which is, what are some of the social, political, economic, and cultural reasons that the advertising and public relations industries are experiencing challenges and how each is practiced in the contemporary global environment? According to Kamalapur on page 327, public relations is based on and inherently assumes a sophisticated communications infrastructure that has evolved in North America, both politically and technically. However, he emphasizes that it was not evolved here in North America. It didn't originate here, as the text explains. It originated in Germany around the late 1800s. Our text explains how many countries have come to understand how public relations is a necessity. It quotes Kruckberg on page 328 as saying, quote, "Suffice it to say, there is growing appreciation for public relations professional practice worldwide. Countries previously unfazed or at least unmoved by negative public opinion are becoming cognizant of the benefits of good public relations to fulfill increasingly obvious needs. Aggressively, a range of public and private organizations and institutions are seeking both the knowledge and the means to enable these countries' total infrastructures to practice good public relations," end quote. The text also discusses how in the field of advertising you must know your audience. It gives several examples of companies developing ads that work on some age groups and in some countries, but that would not certainly work on different age groups and in different countries. Such as the Coca-Cola ad of someone rubbing a cold Coca-Cola all over their body after playing some basketball and then giving the Coke to their friend, with the friend having no idea that the Coke had been rubbed all over the other friend's sweaty body. Pretty gross. To quote our text, effective advertising must operate in a multicultural world that is unforgiving of marketers' cultural insensitivity to and lack of understanding of cultures other than their own, end quote. Then our text goes on to list several examples of poor advertising campaigns and advertisements, such as the recent 2017 Pepsi ad, where Pepsi attempted to use Black Lives Matter such as when Pepsi attempted to use Black Lives Matter videos in their advertising campaign, in which it ends with the protester handing a police officer a Pepsi. This did not get received well from Black Lives Matter protesters, among other people, and it did not achieve their goal of global understanding and unity, Pepsi's goal, and that was and the global understanding and unity is a quote from the actual campaign advertisement. Many companies are looking internationally to find opportunities in niche markets, such as Unilever PLC, who launched a skin lotion for Black women in Brazil, which, as Brazil holds the largest population of Black people, second to Nigeria, was a good niche market for them. A point that the text makes is that from its birth, public relations has been seen as a tool used largely by corporate managements to get their way. However, for quite some time, U.S. governmental and U.S. non-governmental organizations have also long used advertising as well as public relations. Holzhausen stated from our text that, quote, "The fact that public relations as activism receives so little attention supports the theory that public relations has become part and parcel of the maintenance of meta-narratives and domination in society. In fact, activists are often portrayed as the enemy of organizations and government, although they are actually the real voices of democracy," end quote. Relationship marketing has become a commonly used tool for advertisers. According to an article from fitsmallbusiness.com, quote, "Relationship marketing is a method of building a customer's trust and loyalty with a brand, resulting in ongoing sales that increase their lifetime value. Business employ this strategy as a way to create repeat customers, not single purchase customers. As this results in repeat sales, all companies should consider using relationship marketing," end quote. The text takes a closer look at public relations and advertising from four perspectives, which I will briefly break down. The first angle the text looks at is public relations and advertising. The first angle the text looks at is public relations and advertising manipulative in their role, function, and design. The text argues that public relations and advertising are more so persuasive in nature, not so much manipulative. Gruning from our chapter also argues that PR is not a, quote, "mysterious hidden persuader working for the rich and powerful to deceive and take advantage of the less powerful," end quote. Instead, it states that PR plays an essential role in a democratic society, as seen on page 332. The next concept the text looks at is marketing and PR democratic in tradition? The answer the text gives is yes, they are. Advertising by its nature suggests the availability of consumer choice. PR Holzhausen argues the role of public relations should be to continuously demystify the client organization and its practices, transforming it into a more democratic institution for both internal and external publics. The last angle the Kamalapur book looks at is whether PR and advertising are capitalistic in heritage, and it states that both are steeped in the capitalistic tradition and can continue serving organizations of many types, governmental and non-governmental, or for the foreseeable future. The last angle the text looks at is the postmodern, postmillennial, and post-Cold War era, in which the text states we need to take a closer look at whether democracy should be culturally specific, and should culturally specific capitalism be embraced in different parts of the world according to societal tradition and heritage. The text notes today's immigration crisis as a current social problem that needs attention. Most importantly, the text goes on to discuss the issues of overpopulation and the global crisis of population explosion that we face today. Another major challenging issue the text states is immigration from developing countries to the West due to poverty and war caused by continuing political and environmental events. The text mentions an India advertising campaign that sought to educate and bring awareness to overpopulation. Billboards held messages such as "A baby boom is the nation's doom," in order to address the societal issues that they were and are facing. In conclusion, this chapter explains that public relations has evolved over the years into what it is today due to the fact that it is not simply about being the pre-thought words behind big business and government organizations. It also plays a huge role in global issues from an economic, social, cultural, and environmental dimension. I appreciate y'all listening to my video. I hope that kind of gave you some insight into that chapter. If you have any questions, let me know, and I look forward to watching you all's videos. Thanks. Have a good night.